Hello, welcome to this week's The Story of a Poor Boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And this weekend we get to talk about Liverpool absolutely obliterating Manchester United. And also, because we wasted the day, completely not on purpose, we get to talk about how Jose Mourinho has been sacked as a result of it. How lovely it is when things work out.
It is glorious, isn't it?
Fantastic.
What a way to return to the summit of the Premier League.
And we had to, really. City weren't great against Everton by any means, but they got the job done.
Yeah, Everton rolled over and got the belly tickled, as we all knew it would happen.
Yeah. And this very much, we didn't really speak about it much last week, but this very much felt like a game where Liverpool quite easily have done a classic Liverpool and against Man United, anyway. A classic Liverpool.
Yeah, well, it's been a while since we beat them. In the league, it had been since 2013.
Well, Klopp had never done it.
Yeah.
So, that's all that matters, really, isn't it? Like, whether the club has or not doesn't really matter as such. It's unless it's Everton at Anfield. But yeah, it felt like it was kind of a spectre just always lingering there, wasn't it? And I've been saying all season about how this is the game where you can tell that Liverpool are going to be challenging for a title. This one is, maybe this one is. Turns out that when I was walking to the stadium, I decided there and then it's this one.
Yeah,
it has to be this one.
I think I decided about a week prior as well.
Yeah,
when we did go to the top of the Premier League, when we beat Bournemouth and City got beat by Chelsea.
Yeah,
I looked forward and I saw the United game. I was thinking, right, we beat United. We've played all of the big teams, and we'll be top of the league. We'll have a better record than City, and then that is when I think, okay, it's on. It's all in earnest. We've always been this season a title challenging side, but now the title race is fully on.
the thing to not to put too fine a point on it, I guess, but we're Liverpool against Man United, regardless of what form we come in. It's not only Man United, it was a Jose Mourinho managed Man United, and with those two aspects, you're just they're here to ruin the party.
Yeah, they're our kryptonite.
Yeah, and they are exactly that, and we needed to overcome that, and I think that's the best way to go about a title winning season. It might sound a bit stupid to say it like that, but to go about challenging for things like this, you need to be able to look at what you normally struggle with, whether it be going to small teams, whether it be your title rivals, whether it just be bogey teams, which United are a bit of both of the last two, to be honest. Whether it is that, you just need to overcome those things, and that's when you can properly consider yourselves title challengers.
Exactly.
And Liverpool not only have overcome Man United, they did it without even getting near first gear. Liverpool didn't have to try. Man United made it so easy for them.
See, I think there's been a lot in the media about how bad United were, but I think that takes away a little bit from how good we were, especially in the first half an hour and the last 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. I think we were absolutely magnificent in the first half an hour. The constant sustained pressure deserved more than the one goal we got. That's just how it falls. We get that one goal. Obviously, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I just thought we were really, really good, and we looked the absolute real deal.
Yeah, we looked the absolute business. To
exactly. Yeah.
Rob a quote. But we did, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. Let's go. We're jumping the gun a little bit there, so let's go back and we'll look at the lineups originally. So Liverpool starts. Alisson in goal. Nathaniel Klein makes his first start of the season. Well, first league start of the season at right back. Dejan Lovren comes back in alongside Virgil van Dijk. Andy Robertson at left back. I will completely fawn over Andy Robertson very shortly, I pretty promise. Sadio Mane. This is how it's down on paper, and this is basically how Liverpool played, to be fair. So they've got it spot on. But Mane right wing, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Keita, and then Firmino behind Salah, and that's basically how Liverpool looked to line up, which was a real testament to how Jurgen Klopp is not just he's not just stuck in his ways. He's not right, okay, Liverpool will we will turn up, we'll play our football, and we will win this game. Jurgen Klopp takes each game on a game-by-game basis, and I will throw it back to 2014 at home to Chelsea, when all we had to do was get a point, and Brendan Rodgers wouldn't move away from his patented style of football, which was destroying teams, in all fairness to him, but that kind of immaturity
approach.
Exactly that gung-ho approach, that immaturity, that naivety cost Liverpool the title in the end. I mean, it'd been lost before then, but we'll probably talk about that at great length one day. But if I can bring myself to. But the thing with Klopp is you're getting a sense this season that he has got a lot more about him than hugs, and he has got a lot more about him than he's a really good man manager. How nice does he look? He is a very, very good tactician.
100%.
And you only got to see it from the subs as well.
That's really jumping the gun there. But the subs were fantastic, and I thought they were exactly what we needed at the time. Lineup wise, I was really excited by that midfield. I was excited to see Wijnaldum, Fabinho, and Keita. Just the kind of ball retention and not allowing United to have any time on the ball in midfield. I thought that is the perfect midfield to do that. Playing Mane on the right was a very interesting one, because I don't think that United would have been expecting that at all.
Well, the reason with Mane playing there, you're probably looking at Nathaniel Klein. And you're
possibly.
probably looking at, if you're going to play Salah at the right, on the right hand side, we've seen Salah get caught out defensively quite a fair bit.
Well,
before.
that's partly due to his instructions. Like we tell him to stay on the shoulder of the defender.
Oh no, without a shadow of a doubt. But even harking back to last season, when you look at Roma, and we give away 2 sloppy goals, but one of them is because Mo Salah drops deep and gives the ball away really poorly.
True.
And I think when it comes to Mane, there were points in this game where I was absolutely furious with him, but I just thought he had a tendency to put his foot on the ball and slow the game down a little bit too much at times. He was looking for the overlap a lot of the time, and it wasn't coming because it's not Trent.
Klein, yeah.
Exactly, it's Nathaniel Klein. But bringing Mane in, it's the same lineup that Klein left, basically, isn't it?
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? And that's an important thing.
There's a little bit of continuity there,
and
it allows a little bit more security for Klein, and it allows Robert to bomb on a little bit more down the left.
And even we can talk about this, and I think it quite clearly shows what I've just been talking about with Klopp is that he prepared for United's threats as much as United had prepared for ours. Well, expected to prepare for ours, but we didn't see anything from United at all down the left-hand side. For some reason, United just seemed to be absolutely committed to taking Liverpool on the side of Virgil van Dijk and Andrew Robertson, who are 2 of the best players in the world in their positions. And it absolutely astounded me how many times Lukaku attached himself to Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, and Virgil van Dijk just did not give him a sniff at all, did he?
It might well be the best performance, in terms of marking a player completely out of a game. That I don't think I've ever seen Van Dijk that not disciplined as such, but that just completely in control of a situation. And you get it from the very first couple of minutes when he just takes Lukaku out the game with a great tackle on the halfway line. The crowd goes absolutely mental, and from there you're like, we've won this game, it's fun. But I mean, I'm again getting ahead of myself. I mean, if we look at United's lineup as well, we don't normally look at the opposition, but I think it's just interesting.
They go 5 at the back, which stood out to me immediately.
Yeah. So it's De Gea in goal. Dalot starts with Darmian, Bailly, Lindelof and Young. Midfield of Herrera and Matic, and then a combination of Lingard, Lukaku and Rashford. You look at that and there's nothing to be scared of at all for Liverpool.
No.
Obviously Rashford did a lot of damage to us last season when at Old Trafford happens, but he's not the same player as he was then. And obviously the standout thing for us as well is you look at their bench and they've got Martial, Pogba, Antonio Valencia, Juan Mata, and even though he's not great, Marouane Fellaini.
Yeah, I was going to say their go-to plan B.
Yeah, which is I can't quite I couldn't understand it before the game, and I still can't understand it now that he's gone. And at the end of the day, this result has cost him his job.
Yeah,
Mourinho. And it's a really strange decision.
I really would have thought he would start Martial, to be honest, because they basically knew that Klein was going to start. They basically knew that Lovren was going to start centre back. So that right hand side of defence is more vulnerable than it would have been with Gomez and Trent.
Yeah.
Slower than it would have been with Gomez and Trent. I think it would have been the perfect game to play Martial on that left-hand side.
With Rashford up front as well, I wouldn't have been surprised at all, because I've already touched on it a little bit, but Lukaku just attached himself to Van Dijk and then just hides for the rest of the game. Shearer covered it brilliantly on Match of the Day, where he's just like, Lukaku wants nothing to do with this game at all. If they'd have just had Rashford on, then you just say, alright, go and have a go at Lovren.
Yeah.
And it's madness, because you look at the game from last season at Old Trafford, when Lovren gets pulled apart by our fans for it a lot, because he loses 2 headers to Lukaku, and Rashford scores.
He flicks it onto Rashford or Martial, doesn't he?
Exactly, and for this game, it's just so strange that he just attached himself to Van Dijk instead. And I said about 5 minutes before they scored, I can't understand why Lukaku's on this side. If he just comes over here, if I was his manager, I go on the other side. Just give Lovren and Klein a go.
See, I think that was because Fabinho was dropping back as well and helping out with Lovren.
Oh no, definitely.
And leaving Van Dijk as the spare man, so Lukaku's more likely to gravitate towards him.
But then you're giving Fabinho a decision then as well, aren't you? Because Fabinho either comes with you, or Fabinho stays put. And if Fabinho comes with you, then he leaves a gap in the middle where you fill in with Lingard or something like that. But instead, in this game, it's literally just one dimension. And the one time in the first half, I remember Lukaku coming over to the our right-hand side, their left. He puts the ball in, which Alisson fumbles.
Yeah. Which
then they score from. So, it clearly could
He's the one who puts the ball in for the Fellaini near chance in the second half that Robertson heads away, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, when he actually had a go, it looked like it could have bore fruit. Do you know what I mean? It looked like it had enough about it, because let's not, like, even on his best day, Lovren, he's no
Van Dijk.
Exactly, he's not Verge, is he, by any stretch? And we're talking about Dejan Lovren here, who's been in and out the side for weeks because he's had illnesses here and there, with Nathaniel Klein next to him, who's been out of the side for about 15, 16 months now.
Something like
that. At
this
point in time. So, for Mourinho to turn up and just be that defensive and that just about it, it just stunk of a man who was done, to me.
Really did. It stunk of a man who had just absolutely given up on this game.
Because he comes to Anfield normally and he's got a plan. He's got something about him where he's just like, right, okay.
He's got a plan to turn the game to shit, and he could not do that at all. He for a little bit, for maybe like a 10-minute period after their goal, they started giving us a little bit more pressure, but nothing really too dangerous. Their goal came from their first proper foray, and it's a bad mistake by Alisson, and it's dreadfully unlucky, really. But after that,
he so nearly saves it.
Yeah, I know. It's just after that, there's just really nothing. It's completely so weird.
Yeah, they look completely toothless.
Yeah,
and I mean, we've seen Mourinho turn up at Anfield with a Chelsea reserve team and get the result they needed.
Yep.
And do you know what I mean? Completely broke everyone's heart. I've seen him turn up at Liverpool twice in the last 2 years and get 2-0 draws with the most sides. It was just, right, okay, well, rather than anything clever and rather than anything positionally appropriate, like, rather than playing defenders where they should be played, I'm just going to put as many defensive-minded players on the pitch as I can. It was a real surprise Phil Jones didn't fucking start up front.
I can see why it was the final nail in the coffin for him, because for him to come and do that, it's a white flag.
Yeah.
He's waving a white flag. He's saying, Jurgen Klopp is a better manager than me. I can't do anything about this Liverpool team other than hope. Other than hope, I've got no plans.
His comments after the game suggested suggested such as well, didn't he? Where he was just like, this Liverpool team, we can't even hold levels of performance. And imagine he's not been sacked, and imagine he's carrying on from here. Imagine hearing that from your manager.
Yeah.
We can't match this Liverpool team.
You want to at least try. You want to at least try.
Go in and make them.
Yeah.
Go in and say to them, all right, lads, what we're going to do today is we're going to do nothing but run about and do sprints and get you into some kind of fitness, like approaching what Liverpool can do. And we're just going to do this for the rest of the season because this season's a write-off.
Yeah. What about when Klopp first came? He was like, okay, maybe we're not as good as some other teams, but the aim with those teams is to drag them down to our level and kill them.
Well, exactly. Remember the first time we turn up at City under Klopp and just completely obliterate Man City, and when we go to Chelsea as well. That season, and
you've got to impose some kind of will on the game, and that is the cardinal sin that Mourinho in United was just. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words because.
Well, I think the best way to say it would be what we've been saying about smaller clubs is that they turn up at Anfield and they're already beaten.
Yeah.
That was exactly the impression you get from Man United, and it was just like, right, okay, if we turn up here and we keep them down to 2-3-0, then all right, that's fine. We'll take it and we'll move on from there.
Yeah.
And that's not Man United that we've grown up with and associated. Like that's not the football we associate with them. And it was, from a certain point of view, it's a bit sad, to be honest.
Nah, I was literally about to say it'd be sad if it wasn't so fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
Brilliant and hilarious and, it's lovely.
Yeah, it is fantastic. Into my veins, please. Speaking of fantastic, that first goal.
Oh, God.
Oh, my fucking word. It's clever, and Fabinho gets the assist for it. Fabinho deserved that and more. He was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, the balls that he was spraying forward were just really, really nice.
One for the Henderson out crew. He played, I think it was 28 passes forward, and I think it's 2 backwards all game, which, in all fairness to Fabinho, it's fantastic for him. In all fairness to Jordan Henderson, I feel like Fabinho was asked to play a very different role in this midfield because Liverpool didn't really need a holding midfielder to move the ball around, and even when we did, that's what Gini Wijnaldum was basically doing.
Gini Wijnaldum, his job was basically just keep the ball. Same a little bit with Keita, because we know how powerful he is as a dribbler.
Were you disappointed with Keita? Sorry to sidetrack that, but while you've mentioned them.
Little bit. His passing was really sloppy, I thought. But for the job that I think that he was given alongside Wijnaldum, just keep the ball, move it about a bit. I think he performed well enough. The sub that I wanted was Shaqiri on for Keita because I knew we needed a little bit more, and that's exactly what we got. And then we got a little bit more, and by a little bit more, I mean a lot more.
It's funny you should say that. I'll get on to what I wanted to do at this point, but that's why I'm sat here, and Jurgen Klopp's currently sat in form, me planning on how to beat Wolves on Friday. Going back to the first goal, it's a wonderful technique from Fabinho. It's a wonderful technique from Mane as well.
That touch,
the touch is stunning.
It is so good
to kill the ball completely. The last time I saw someone take a ball down on his chest that well was Suarez against Newcastle.
I was literally about to say that. Yeah,
it was when Suarez just chested the ball forwards and yet killed all the pace on the ball somehow.
Yep.
Like only he could, really. But it's a great finish, and it's something that we both agreed Mane was going to do this week because he missed so many fucking chances against Napoli.
100%. And that's the thing with Mane; he can only score when he's off balance.
Yeah,
I think that's it. I think we just there needs to be a big gust of wind. Oh my God, it's brilliant, isn't it?
I think that's the best thing I've ever seen anyone do.
Yeah, that is the snidest, most shithouse thing I think I've ever seen. It's brilliant.
Into me veins, please. It's the fact that he does it and then he immediately puts stand up and he's like, it's offside there, ref, come on. And
the thing is, I don't understand for the life of me why Lukaku let him. Lukaku is loads bigger and loads heavier than Mane.
Lukaku let him, but why Lukaku stayed on his feet as well?
Yeah.
He goes for the ball. If he goes down there, he probably wins something for it, to be honest. Obviously, we are not in any way advocating diving, but at the same time, fucking,
It's a very, very weird one.
But yeah, Mane, he had an interesting game. Mane,
he always does.
Yeah, it's different. He was different, to say the least. I'll say it now. So, you were saying about you wanted Shaqiri on for Keita.
Yep.
I wanted Mane off that pitch.
Okay.
Because I felt like Mane was just, every time he got the ball, was just taken. Like, you just see Robertson just blitzing them down the left-hand side, and you're just like, where's the intensity from you? Why are you slowing the ball down? And it makes sense looking back on it that Mane was just literally just letting Liverpool get numbers forward so we can crowd the box kind of thing.
And making sure that right-hand side had the protection it needed.
No, this is in the second half when he's moved over to the left again,
okay.
To be honest, because he took the piss out United on the left-hand side when he moved over.
He did.
But he was still just, like, everything just seemed to be moving about 10% slower than I wanted it to be, and I could feel myself just getting really wound up with Mane for it. And I was crying out for him to take off Mane for Keita. For Shaqiri, and then put Keita on the left wing. And then you see someone who can offer the similar style to Mane. Maybe not as quickly, obviously, as Mane is, but with also the added explosion from Xherdan Shaqiri, which we get to witness. But, as I say, that's why I'm sat here instead. Because Mane takes on Darmian, leaves him behind, puts a ball in, a few deflections, shot from Shaqiri, another deflection, and it's in. Yep. And I've never been so made up for somebody to score two of the shittest goals I've ever seen in my entire life.
They're gloriously crap, aren't they?
Yeah, and, if Xherdan Shaqiri was to leave Liverpool now, that would be...
That's his game.
Yeah, that's
his game.
That's Shaqiri's game. And Gary Neville is definitely sat there just crying afterwards, just like, for fuck's sake, it's my fault.
Why does it have to be him?
Like, if
anyone else.
If Keita had done it, we'd all be made up, because it's like, Keita's announced himself. But we already love Shaqiri a little bit.
Yeah.
I say a little bit. I fucking adore Xherdan Shaqiri. I genuinely believe he is Liverpool's most talented footballer. Like, in terms of just raw ability, I think he is the sheer ability he has to just skim people. The weight of pass he's got as well, which is something that's hugely unappreciated.
He's so intelligent. He seems to be able to read the game so well.
Him and Salah seem to have this similar connection that we saw Coutinho and Salah have when they first come in, where Coutinho could just dink a ball over and he'd find Salah.
Yeah, he just knows where he is.
And Shaqiri seems to have brought that in with him as well, and I think it's a hugely underestimated part of his game how good he is at passing.
Yeah.
Alright, his shooting could do with a little bit of help occasion. It
did twice.
But yeah, I absolutely adore the fella.
Celebrations as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Just fronting to the cop. Fucking love that. I absolutely love that.
He did the Mourinho.
He did.
Ear grab as well against Juventus, which fucking made my life. It's weird that, like, for a game that Liverpool have won 3-1, I really don't want to talk about the goals. I just really want to talk about how much better Liverpool are than Man United.
Those last 10-15 minutes after we scored the third were just an absolute joy, weren't they? They were just
Liverpool
so good. We were
Liverpool taking a piss.
Absolutely taking a piss. Just playing it out from the back, just so nice. Alisson was so cool in possession. Yeah, he fumbled there. He fumbled Lukaku's cross. It hit his knee, bounces out, goes out to Jesse Lingard, who scores poxiest fucking goal because he's Jesse Lingard. He doesn't score good goals because he's not actually good at football. Of course he does.
Yeah.
How did you feel when that goal went in? Did you have that sense of, oh, here we go again? This would be the most Liverpool thing ever. This would be the most United thing ever. This would be the most Mourinho thing ever.
The thing that, I won't lie to you, the immediate thing that went through my head when that goal went in is the fella behind me had been giving Alisson dog's abuse all game for passing out. And, like, he'd played a few risky balls in the first half already to that point, and he was just like, just hit it long. And I'm like, I was sat there just thinking to myself, we've literally paid £65 million for this goalkeeper so he doesn't kick the ball long. Yep. Like, he is not in this team to just swat it long and hope that Salah can reach it. He's in this team to build from the back.
Yeah, he's smarter than that. He's part of the team that builds attacks,
Yeah.
rather than just hit and hope.
And the first thing that went through my head is, oh, for fuck's sake, the fella behind me is just going to, like, he's going to have a field day. But I had a thought where I was just like, you were the reason, like, regardless of ability, and obviously Mignolet and Karius were never anywhere near as good as Alisson in terms of raw ability, but they were never going to reach it because they had people on their back all the time.
Yeah.
And if Alisson wasn't as confident a fella as he is, and he quite clearly is, because you know he just exudes confidence. He's fantastic.
He is gorgeous,
but
that does come with being gorgeous. Lots of confidence.
I wouldn't know.
I'd love to feel confident one day. It'd be great. Maybe when I develop a chin.
But yeah, I was just thinking, like, this is why we, like, either Mignolet or Karius were never really given the opportunity to do anything, and you know,
we are horrible to keepers. I've been saying it on this podcast for ages now.
Yeah.
We are horrible to keepers. We do not give them time.
We
can't let them make mistakes.
Yeah, it brought me right back to when Mignolet used to be in goal, and we just see Mignolet giving the ball out for a goal kick, and then the ball goes back to Mignolet, and the whole of the cop are like, just get rid of it. And it's like we've not. We're not trying to do that. We're not trying to go long here. We're trying to build from the back, and Alisson is the best at doing that. Maybe Ederson's up there with him, I suppose, but Alisson is one of the best in the world at doing exactly that. And when the mistake came, I was just like,
it's just fuel for their fire, isn't it?
It was just everything together was just like, if we go on to lose this game, or if we go on to draw this game, or we drop points here, and all of a sudden it's all about keepers again, and you know we've gone from having the best keeper in the world the week before to having, you know, another Karius in goal, and according to the papers, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, of course.
And I couldn't be arsed with everything because it's such a roller coaster being a goalkeeper. I imagine, like, you can't.
Such a thankless job.
Exactly. I mean, Alisson literally kept Liverpool in Champions League with a save in the 91st minute the other day, and yet if Liverpool hadn't have won this game, then it would have been his fault, according to a lot of people, and that I couldn't imagine anything worse than that, and I don't know why they put themselves through it, to be honest. He must just be really, 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 really happy in goal. But
you'd hope so.
I'm glad that nothing has come of it, and I'm glad that he's made 2 mistakes for goals this season, 2 high-profile errors.
But we've gone on to win both those games.
Liverpool won both games, exactly. Yeah. Who's asked? if Karius makes that mistake in the first mistake in the Champions League final, Liverpool go on to win 3-1 instead of Madrid, no one will talk about it.
Oh God, no.
Because no one remembers mistakes if they don't lead to anything, and that's the simple fact. If Demba Ba puts that shot wide, I can't believe I've spoke about that game 3 times, but in this podcast. But if Demba Ba puts that shot wide, we're never talking about Gerrard slipping, are we?
No, true.
So it's just one of those things, I guess. But Alisson's the best. So
he is, and he just picks himself up straight away. Van Dijk goes over to him actually while Lingard's celebrating at the cup. Helps him up, picks him up. So
yeah, it's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I haven't spoken about Verge enough, to be honest. But
imperious as per.
Yeah, exactly. Never go to Lukaku a sniff.
That's my motto with him.
He is fantastic, isn't he? We were speaking about keepers then. Any other season, I feel like we don't score this game. I don't
know. The first goal was very, very good.
Yes, but De Gea saves that every other year.
Well, maybe with the ridiculous standards that De Gea was the last couple of years.
This is exactly what I mean. Do you remember that save from was it Chan or Joel Mata last season, where he pulls it, the ball's pulled back, it's a simple tap in, and De Gea just out of nowhere just sticks his leg out, and it's just that's the level he set himself, like. And every single shot I was just like, yeah, he's saving that. Like, I just expected them to. Which, you know, sometimes you just think, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Like,
thing is, he's been performing above par and above what is sustainable for so long now that we all come to assume that it is sustainable and it is his par. But it can't possibly be. No. He's actually just reverting to norm. Maybe he's a little bit below par now.
He's still top
He's still a bloody good keeper.
He's still top 5 goalkeepers in the world.
Yeah.
Even with the poor season that United are having, he's still top 5 in the world.
Yeah, it doesn't help how many shots he fucking faces with that terrible defense.
Well, that's it. If United go out, I mean, the thing is, we'll talk about it a bit more later, I guess, but if United go out and spend a fortune on defenders in January, then we're probably talking about De Gea hitting those standards again this season.
Possibly.
But we'll worry about it in a bit. I want to talk about Andy Robertson now.
Oh, what a guy.
I, honest to God, don't think that I've ever seen a left-back play as well as Andy Robertson has, not only this game, but this season.
Yeah.
I think if... This is a question I wanted to ask you anyway, and I've had this in my head all week, and Andy Robertson just reaffirmed it this week. If the season ends here, who's your player of the season for Liverpool?
It's one of 3. It's one of Alisson, Van Dijk, or Andy Robbo.
And that is such a high praise for Andy Robertson, and we're not even mentioning Mo Salah there, who's second highest goal scorer in the Premier League this season. We're not mentioning Joe Gomez, who's having a breakout season. We're literally talking about a left back who very few people expected anything of. I remember
for about £4 and a packet of crisps.
I remember when we signed him,
and Kev Stewart, sorry.
Well, same value, really. But I mean, I remember when we signed him, and me and you were talking about it, and it was like, it was in the middle of us expecting to get Keita and Van Dijk and all that, and we were just like, yeah, I mean, he's good. He's got Premier League experience. I remember me and you trying to talk Kieran around and just being like, because Kieran was fuming that we hadn't bought anyone big, and I was like, he could be the best left back in the world by the end of the season. And who'd have thought? Exactly. I mean, there was no weight behind that at all. It was just, he could be. You never know, do you? It just so turns out that there's no one in world football better at left back than him.
This is true.
I mean that fully, no one. And the fact that Jose Mourinho is praising an opposition player after a game, I've never heard that.
I was thinking about halfway through the second half how much Mourinho would love a player like Robertson, because I think it was when... No, it wasn't the second half, sorry, it was in the first half, because Mourinho was holding out the ball to Robertson, and I was half expecting him to lob it over him or something, but he just passed him the ball, and I was thinking, Robertson is probably a player that Mourinho would absolutely love in his team.
He looks at Luke Shaw, and that's what he's wanting. That's what he's wanting. And I don't even mean that as a joke. I genuinely do mean that's what he's expecting Luke Shaw to be. When you come in and you get a player who was 18 years old and getting paid 150 grand a week or whatever it was, you do expect those standards. Like, at this point in time, Luke Shaw should be the best player in the world. It's only but for bad management and bad leg breaks, I suppose, that he's never got anywhere near his potential so far. But Robertson's he's such an unassuming character that we just picked up on the off chance he might be good. And it turns out that if you sell Andy Robertson now, and obviously Liverpool wouldn't, and has he signed a new contract, or is he just still in talks?
I think he's in talks.
Yeah. So if Liverpool were to sell him now, how much are we talking for him? 60, 70 million?
Easy.
In this market? Easy. And I know that sounds stupid money, but what other left-backs can you name who can not only attack like Andy Robertson, but defend like Andy Robertson can as well?
Because Mendy's got to be attacking, but he cannot defend like Andy Robertson.
And he has this unerring ability to get his body between the ball and the man, which is so impressive. Like, he'll start from behind and he'll just get round the man and shield the ball out, like, round and clear it. The only thing he can't do is take corners.
He's the first to admit that, but
he did admit it on Instagram, didn't he? I still think that there's something in those corners, and that Liverpool are actually... I'm being a bit... giving them far too much credit, but I feel like it's happening far too often for it to be a coincidence that Liverpool keep hitting the first man. I feel like Liverpool are aiming for the near post.
Yeah, I think we're aiming to hard and low. Get it in there, get it to hit someone's legs and maybe bounce in.
Which feels like such a waste when you got Virgil van Dijk.
It does, but
I feel like I genuinely think there's something in that though, where we can look at that and we can say, yeah, there's probably something in that, because I'm sat there and I'm just like, like proper years are just like, why the fuck have we got a throw-in coach? Why haven't we got a corner coach? Because we can't fucking take corners. But there must be methods to the madness
of course,
for it to continually keep happening as well. And then, because there was a point in the second half where Robertson had just taken, like, I think must have been his 4th bad one of the game. And then Verge goes, Salah, you take it.
Yeah, and Salah took over, didn't he?
And Salah did the exact same thing. Into the exact same area, and it was like, for fuck's sake, how shit.
There's something in it, and we'll see the reward of it at some point this season.
I think so, and I think there's going to be a point where Klopp's just like, yeah, we've been aiming to do that all year or something like that, and we're like, makes sense.
Like, we get it.
While we talk about Klopp's ideas, like stuff like that, I mentioned earlier about his substitutes. Obviously, Xherdan Shaqiri's paid off to no end in this game. It's not the first time his subs have made a massive impact for Liverpool this season. We look back to Firmino against PSG, Sturridge against Chelsea, Origi against Everton. Even Burnley away when he brings Salah and Firmino off the bench. Now, this is, again, just a little thought I had today when I should have been working. But do you think there's, you've seen all this clamour about Buvac on Twitter. Do you think there's a point where Buvac might have been holding Jurgen Klopp back? Because the go-to every time Klopp was going to make a decision, and you could see it every time, is that he turned around and he asked Buvac what he was considering as well. And maybe there's a part of it, because Klopp was becoming infamous for how late his subs were being made, and like how he'd just leave Liverpool to play because we were in a good moment, as Klopp would say. But we were in a good moment when Shaqiri comes on. Do you know what I mean? We were playing well. We were never going to lose that game. We could have gone on. Is it? Maybe I'm looking at it. I'm just trying to spin it a different light, because you can sit there and you can say Liverpool haven't been great attacking and we've missed Buvac because of that. Not a fucking clue what he did other than speak to Klopp about subs. That's all I've ever fucking seen him do. And all of a sudden, Buvac is gone, and we're sitting there going, yeah, Klopp's getting his subs spot on this season. And maybe Klopp deserves more credit than that. Maybe it's him stepping into his own kind of thing. Maybe Pep Linders is having more of an impact. Maybe he's speaking to him and just being like, yeah, maybe now's the time to shake it up a little bit.
It's interesting because, like, we as outsiders, we'll probably never really know until the biographies start coming out in the twilights of their careers. But something does come to mind. I think Alex Ferguson used to say, like, the key to his sustained success was every now and again he would change his assistant manager, because he couldn't just have the same man around, because eventually they turn into, maybe not yes men, but their ideas are no longer challenging to you. They're not bringing anything new to the table because it's the same guy. So he used to get different assistant managers in and get different coaching staff in, just for different ideas and for different perspectives and views to be there and to be for all of them to learn, really. So maybe we were just at the end of
the cycle.
Buvac's cycle, and
because I mean they've been together for years as well.
They've been together since Mainz, I think.
Well, exactly, and maybe it just needed something to maybe give him a little kick, something on those lines. But it was just something that came to me in work before, because I was like, no one mentions Buvac anymore because we're top of the league and we're through in the Champions League. But I think now that you start going, Klopp's changes. If you're going to make one equivalence and you're going to say Liverpool are playing badly, Liverpool aren't attacking the same way, Buvac is gone, therefore X equals Y.
Yeah.
Then why can't you say, well, Klopp's making better subs, Buvac is gone, X equals Z instead? Do you know what I mean? But maybe there's an equivalence in there as well. I don't know, but I thought I'd bring it up.
No, that's an interesting point. Shame is that we're probably not going to know the answer until Klopp's retired and we get his autobiography.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I would love to know. I mean, if I was speaking to Jurgen Klopp, I'd be picking his brain for so many other things than that. But Yeah, there you go. Buvac is the reason we kept making shit subs. Buvac's idea was bringing on Joel Matip in the 92nd minute.
He does still do that.
No, he doesn't. When was the last time he did that? When was last? Ignore the fact all our defenders are injured. When was the last time he did that? If Buvac was still here, Raggy Klavan would still be here, and he'd still be coming on. And Joe Gomez would still be a right back. There you go. Buvac is...
Okay, alright, fair enough.
Buvac is to blame for it all.
I feel like we should move on from this point.
Yeah, fine. Fuck you, Buvac. I guess we're done talking about the game, so man of the match?
For me, it's hard not to give it to Shaqiri.
Oh, it's very easy to give it to not Shaqiri.
No, I'm not giving it to Shaqiri. I'm saying it's hard not to give it to Shaqiri, but for me, I think it's Fabinho. Because I just thought Fabinho just absolutely ran that midfield and didn't give any United midfielder an absolute sniff. That may have been down to United's tactics. They may have decided to completely bypass the midfield, but that's a very difficult decision to come to. But he would have made that decision easier by being so good there and just absolutely running the entire show.
It's interesting that I think we kind of expected as fans that this would be the game where Naby Keita landed.
This is the game where Fabinho arrived, properly arrived.
I think this is the Fabinho we thought we were getting.
Yeah.
Which we've seen in fits and starts this season, but we've not seen to this level. And against, albeit they are shite, but at this point in the season, but they're still good opposition.
Yeah.
Who had enough about them, if they'd have fancied it, probably to at least have a goal at Liverpool. So yeah, I wouldn't disagree with Fabinho. I'm going for Andy Robertson.
I knew you were gonna.
I just can't. I agree with Mourinho. I was tired looking at him. I've never seen anybody run to the levels he does.
It is nuts, isn't it?
It was also the variation in his play, and I didn't talk about it before, but it's the fact that he was coming on the outside, and then he'd just track him back. And then the next time he'd go forward, he'd come inside instead. Yeah, no. And he wouldn't just keep doing the same thing. He would keep the defender guessing the entire time. And yeah, alright, his corners were shite all game, but his just involvement in everything Liverpool did down the left-hand side, it was just great. And it made me miss Trent a little bit, to be honest, because I was just like, Liverpool could do with something similar down the right. I mean, if we'd have had Trent Alexander-Arnold, who knows what we'd have finished in that game. But I was a bit harsh on Klein straight after the game. I said Klein was poor, but
I think I was a bit because I'm not a huge fan of Klein. Haven't been for a while.
Yeah,
but the fact that he's come in after so long out, I think he probably performed the best he probably could.
Yeah.
And he definitely didn't do himself a disservice at all.
No, definitely.
He was perfectly fine.
Yeah. So we can move on from that game then, and we can talk about the immediate aftermath of that game. Well, the immediate aftermath of that game is it put Liverpool back on top spot, back to where we were at the start of the weekend, 1 point clear of City, 19 points clear of Manchester United, who are now closer to the bottom than they are the top.
Yep.
We are also 21 points clear of Everton, but their live buildings are blue, so it's one of them.
Yeah, they're the winners, really.
Yeah, exactly. We may have won the battle, but we are losing the war. On that, the picture your mum's got, the live buildings are blue.
They are. That blue made it.
Oh, fucking hell. I'm devastated.
I'll get a red pen.
Yeah, go on. I'm sure we'll colour it in. Your mum won't mind. So we may as well talk about Mourinho going. Well, I know we touched on it briefly, but I'm devastated. I
know. I am gutted as well, because I think any halfway competent manager can probably get a lot better out of those players. Or a manager that has some level of control over that dressing room.
I think that it absolutely reeks of when Roy Evans had to leave in the 90s at Liverpool, because Roy Evans was really well liked at Liverpool, but I say it reeks of it. It has a touch of that in it. I mean, Roy Evans was by no means the personality that Jose Mourinho fancies himself to be. But when that dressing room's full of people who just are not interested in football, and I'm looking at you, Jesse Lingard, and I'm looking at you, Paul Pogba, and you know these just dickheads who are just more interested in their social media accounts.
Yeah.
Like, is it Gary Neville who called out Lingard before the game for launching a clothing line.
Yep.
This week before we play each other. Like, what the fuck? Like, sort it out.
Do it on our off week. Come on.
Exactly. I mean, we've got Christmas coming up. Just fucking... And also, who launches a clothing line a week before Christmas? Do it a couple of weeks ago, surely, so your sales are up. I mean, I'm pulling your business plan apart now, Jesse Lingard. So, Liverpool have pulled your defence apart. I'm pulling your business plan apart. But yeah, I mean, it's... I think that Mourinho has, and we mentioned it before, so we may as well talk about it while we're recording. I think Mourinho's been given a bit of a shit time there on the basis that I look at those players and I don't see many that he's brought in himself. And I see that Ed Woodward has made very similar signings that he made under Louis van Gaal as well. And, alright, there are exceptions to that, and I'm not saying there aren't. I mean, you look at Alexis Sanchez. But the problem at Man United is that Man United make signings based on how much money they're going to get from
they go for names.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got to look at Ibrahimovic for that. You've got to look at, well, Paul Pogba for that. It's probably one of the main reasons David De Gea is still there, and they can afford to offer him the stupid contracts because he must make a fortune. I mean, who buys a keeper kit? No one, unless your keeper's boss. I'll bet you Liverpool shirt sales are up in keeper shirt sales are up
100%
this season because of Alisson. Do you know what I mean? It just helps having a boss goalkeeper. Jordan Pickford, if he goes to United, is not going to sell anywhere near the shirts that De Gea sells.
Maybe children's shirts.
Maybe sleeveless. That's it. You can buy the short sleeves on Jordan Pickford and it still comes up to his hands. But yeah, I mean, I think Mourinho, he's made it public, hasn't he, loads of times that he's not had the players he wants, kind of thing. He's not had the backing he wants. He's had backing. How many of those players he signed, I guess we will never know until he tells us next week.
Yeah, no, true. I do believe that he made the majority of the signings, though. Some of them maybe he didn't. Maybe Pogba was more of a it's the name and it's the marketing and it's the shirt sales and all that. So that's Ed Woodward. I see that one as Ed Woodward. Like other signings like Lukaku, like Lindelof, like the multitudes of fucking defenders that Mourinho has signed and yet still wants more because he can't make players better anymore. Well, this is the rumours. All this, Mourinho hasn't had the backing of the board is over one centre back. He wanted an extra centre back.
Alderweireld, basically.
No, but apparently he gave a short list of 5 centre halves to United. And they were 5 wildly different names, wildly different styles of football, wildly different attributes, wildly different ages. And apparently the board and Ed Woodward went to Mourinho and was like, look, what do you actually want? What kind of centre-back do you want? Do you want a big, young, ball-playing centre-back? Do you want a...
Harry Maguire.
Do you want an imperious, seasoned veteran who's just going... Yeah, exactly. But apparently there was no plan from this. So the board decided that they were going to go, okay, we'll go for a young one that can stay and something can actually be built at this club. We can change what we've been doing for a while. And Mourinho apparently turned around and said no, and then that was just a standoff and they didn't... No one was happy and no players got signed.
Does it not stink though that of when Brendan Rodgers turned around and said we aren't signing Mario Balotelli and then 3 weeks later he was doing the lean?
Yeah, well...
Because I fully believe...
Managers lie, though.
Yeah, I know.
Klopp said we weren't going to sign Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Said we had no interest at all. We signed him next season.
That was in January.
Yeah, but we still signed him.
There's a significant period of time there between the two things.
But you spend a lot of time scouting players, though.
Yeah, fair enough. But Klopp's come out since and said that he was told to sign him by the England lads. So he's told to sign him by Henderson, Lallana and Milner. Yeah. Which is ironic because if he's fit, he keeps all 3 of them on the team. But managers can be swayed by their players, and I fully believe that's what's happened with Oxlade-Chamberlain. And up to that point, you have to remember as well, I think they'd have been completely vindicated in turning around and saying, no, to Oxlade-Chamberlain because he was a player who was very much of the Theo Walcott mode.
Oh, 100%.
He gives it every now and then. And it's down to the... Well, if the England lads have made them sign him, then fair play to them. But it's down to Michael Edwards at the end of the day. But what I would say about what I'd say about the Oxlade-Chamberlain thing and how it differs is that Klopp's listening to... he's not gonna. It's not just Jurgen Klopp making that decision. It's going to be a football man in Michael Edwards. Whereas if Mourinho's turned around and said, "All right, I want these centre halves," then because I didn't hear when I heard the listing, I didn't hear it was centre halves. I heard it was just 5 footballers.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So it was just wanted 5 footballers. These are the 5 names I want, and I'm probably going to get 2 of them, maybe 1. I think he said in the summer, didn't he? And as it turned out, I think it was just Fred, whether he was on that list or not. But the problem with...
Where is Fred?
Mourinho said the other week he doesn't fit in at the moment to what he wants him to do. So I assume whoever steps in for United, be it Solskjaer, as it looks like it's going to be at this point in time, maybe they'll get more out of him. But I think Gary Neville and Roy Keane hit the nail on the head when they were talking about it, and they were saying the people who are making the decisions in terms of what footballers come into Man United are not football men.
Yeah, no,
they are money men.
I understand that
first and foremost. And yeah, fine. Mourinho might have cracked a little bit. He spent 3 years living in a hotel room. It's not good. It was never going to work. It was never going to work.
That's really not good for your mental health.
It's not good for your mental health. Imagine being apart from your family. Not only being apart from your family, but living in a fucking hotel. Not your own home, which you can't do anything to. What you do when you're in there? Do you know what I mean? He doesn't go out. He doesn't strike me as a fucking social butterfly. There's Jose Mourinho. He's not one who's going to go out for meals every other weekend, is he?
No one made him do that, though.
No one made him take.
He could have got a flat. He could have got a house.
Oh no, too right. He could have, and at £600 a night, I don't know why. Like there's a point where. Complaining is a bit fucking weird, to be honest.
Maybe he really likes the little chocolates on the pillows.
Maybe. I don't know if you get them for that. You might get a full minibar for £600 a night, to be honest.
Truffles.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But he doesn't look like a fella who's been living in a fucking posh hotel for the last 3 years. He looks like a fella who's been living on a couch, to be honest.
I was going to say, Jeremy Corbyn's living room.
Exactly.
I feel like Jeremy Corbyn's a bit of a hoarder and a bit grim inside his house.
He looks like a fella who's been to Glasgow and hasn't had a shower yet.
Yeah.
Since he's come back, do you know what I mean? He looks tired. Don't you think he looks tired? Little Doctor Who reference for you there. But I just think that there's something to be said for it. He's proved that it works for him at other clubs when the footballing ability is there already.
Yeah.
Bringing in players has never been his strong suit, in all fairness. So I mean, from that respect, it supports what you've been saying about maybe he was the one signing the players. I just think the relationship he has with the players, and I'm looking particularly at Pogba, and I'm even looking at the relationship he's got with Lukaku, to be honest. Before he was at United, it was strained, to say the least. Lukaku basically said it was his fault that he'd never taken off beforehand. Oh look, Mourinho wants me back, I'll go there again. I just think that Mourinho wouldn't have done that. I feel like it's United making these decisions and people at United making these decisions. It was very similar to Van Gaal. Are you going to tell me Louis Van Gaal bought Anthony Martial for 60 million quid? Because Louis Van Gaal wouldn't have done
that. He was big on youth though, and Anthony Martial was very, very young.
Yeah. I'd never heard of him before he signed for United.
No, true. No, that was probably one from aboard as well.
And Dalot as well, looking at him more recently. I mean, you're looking at Fred as well. I've never seen him kick a ball before he'd signed for United. I still don't think I have, to be honest. I couldn't tell you when he's played. I just don't know. No, again, it's one of those things, isn't it? We were talking about Klopp.
We'll never know.
We'll probably never know exactly until it comes out like it all has now about Perslow and Rick Parry and all that. You know what I mean? And even then, there'll always be rumours about it.
I can't wait for the book.
I'd read a book written by Mourinho,
when it all comes out, it's going to make a really fascinating case study for anyone doing degrees in sports history or anything. It's going to be fucking fascinating thesis.
I'm trying. I just don't know where it leaves United, because there's a good point at this point. There's a good point made on Twitter, whereas United could quite easily lash £500 million at this situation, come away with a fantastic squad, and win the Champions League for the next 2 years, 2-3 years. But it's not sustainable.
No,
it's not sustainable in any way, and United are never going to disappear the way we did. They've seen the lessons from it, and we never fully disappeared, but we were never near the top table when you look at it. All right, we occasionally got a finger on there, but we were never anywhere near the level that they were under Ferguson, which hurts to say, obviously. But and as a kid, I always thought we were better than them. But looking back now, it's fucking ludicrous to even think we were playing for the same trophies at times. I think I'm just fascinated to see where it leaves them now, to be honest. Just from I've seen United be boss. I've seen empires fall before now, shall we say. I've seen Liverpool do it twice.
I think it takes a while to fix this team. I don't think it's as simple as like one window they can lash £500 million at it, because there are a lot of players that A, they need to get rid of, and B, they need to replace. And then that's going to take time. It needs the right manager. It needs the right setup above the manager to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. If a lot of the signings are purely for commercial reasons and not for footballing reasons, you need the football men. You need the right manager. You need plans. And I don't think United have any designs to do something like that at the minute. I think they're just going to try and throw money at it again. They're going to try and get a big name. They're going to try and get Zinedine Zidane.
I don't know, purely on the basis that we're hearing Solskjaer coming into the end of the season to be supported by Mike Phelan. That's a very sensible move on
Do you
behalf
not think
of United,
that could only be because it would only be Solskjaer that would touch United with a 10-foot barge pole at the minute?
No, because there are plenty of former managers who could come in and do it. Are you telling me Mark Hughes wouldn't come into United now? As a Man United legend? Yeah, fine, fair enough. I'm not saying... But what I mean is... I'm not saying Mark Hughes is the answer, but what I'm saying is that there are options there if United so choose. Like, managers who've got Premier League experience at the very least who are out there. This has been a decision made purely to get the fans back on side. To get
the fans back on side. But like after this season, do you see them going sensible again and going to try and build something natural? Maybe... Who's
sensible right now who go to United though?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Who would touch United with a 10-foot barge pole?
What I mean is, I don't think United are untouchable. But what I'm saying is, all the managers who you'd want to build the project aren't going to be leaving their current projects. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay,
are you going to turn around and say, obviously, Klopp at Liverpool, Pochettino at Spurs? Pochettino's leaving Spurs. They just finished the stadium. He's going to want to fucking play in it.
Yeah.
At the very least, we're gonna. We're looking at Simeone, maybe, I suppose, is the obvious candidate, isn't he, at this point in time, because he's been leaving Atletico Madrid since about 2015 at this point in time. Antonio Conte's out there. Simeone probably is. Conte's not really a project kind of manager. Even looking at the lower levels of Marco Silva, he's building at Everton. He's not gonna move away from there, is he? Do you know what I mean? At this point in time.
How funny would it be if he did, though?
It would be to be honest.
Just did a Watford to him.
Considering his record is worse than Big Sam's at this point in time, it would be fucking hilarious. But even then, like Sarri building a level at Chelsea, and you've got Unai Emery doing it at Arsenal, and these are all trying to develop over time. Guardiola obviously is at Man City. Even you're looking at the weird choices like the fucking gilet wearing come from Hoffenheim, he's gone to Leipzig already.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, so he's done. He's gone. Do you know what I mean? There are very few names in football who aren't already involved in long-term projects at this point in time, because people seem to have fucking clicked. That's how you do it. That's how you've got to do it. You build something from the ground up, And this is the thing, and I've been having this debate, and I want to touch on it on the next episode for later on this week, about whether or not it's better to have the short-term success or long-term, built for the long term. So we won't talk about that now. I think if we leave this episode there, and then we can move on. And leave that on a little bit of a cliffhanger so people have to come back. Thanks very much for listening to this episode. If you could follow us on all the usual channels, again, we will put the tweet up at some point, I'm sure. Thank you very much for listening. See you in a bit.
Cheers, guys.